there, Facebook. Hey there, YouTube. Hey there, Tom Hanks, if you ever decide to tune in. My name is Kari, and you have stumbled into my corner again. And I'm so excited that you're here. I say again, but some of you may be tuning in for the first time. So if you are a first-time visitor, as usual, drop your name in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. I am so excited to have you on the show today. I am so excited about today's show because we are talking about one of my absolute favorite things. And I'm going to get to it. But remember, all of our shows they serve kind of two purposes. Just as a friendly reminder, yes, I do talk about all sorts of crazy things on Kari's Corner. We talk about test prep. You are always welcome to drop in the chat if you have any test prep questions, if you have any English language questions, if you're specifically studying for the IELTS, the TOEFL, the PTE, the OET, if you have specific study questions, even if I'm talking about something super crazy, but you have a specific question for me, drop it in the chat. Let me know. Ask those questions. Don't be scared to ask questions that are off topic, because I just try to provide information every week on my show that could be pertinent to you, to your family, to your transition to the United States, all sorts of crazy stuff. So remember, even if I'm not talking about something that is related to what you may be doing or going through or thinking about, you can always ask your questions. This is a great outlet to ask live questions right here, because I guarantee you, if you have that question, someone else does too. You are not alone in that question, okay? Lots of hellos in Nigeria, Jamaica, Cameroon. Super, super cool. I'm super excited. I'm going to give one more reminder that next week, Kari's Corner is going to be a replay. I know it's going to be a replay. However, it is because I will be on a flight to South Korea with our president and our founder, Ron Hoppy. I'm so excited. I will be hosting 2 live English sessions, teaching sessions in South Korea, in Seoul, South Korea on Monday, September 4th. Tracy, if you can find it, I know I'm putting you on the spot early, buddy. But there is a link if you would like to join me in one of these sessions. They're 3 hours long, but it's going to be not just me talking for 3 hours, because I don't think I could do that. It's going to be very engaging, but it'll be in Seoul, South Korea on Monday, September 4th. Seating is limited. So I'm really, really, really excited. I'm not super excited about a really, really long flight. So if you guys have any suggestions as nurses for really, really long flights, the last time I did it, I was in my 20s and I flew to Egypt. So now I'm not going to disclose my age, but I'm a little bit past my 20s and I'll be flying again. So for a very long time. So any tips and tricks you guys have for those long flights, pop them my way. But I'm really excited. I will be in Seoul, South Korea. And then I will be kind of all over the Philippines. So if we have any Filipino nurses out there, anyone in the Philippines, Mr. Ron Hoppy and I will be all over the place in the Philippines. So come meet us, come meet me. And when you meet me, please tell me that you watch, say, hey, I see you on Kari's Corner. You have no idea. I might tear up and cry. I will be so emotional and so excited. So thank you. And just again, if you have any of those English questions, always pop them in the chat. This also counts as watching something and hearing English. This is American English that I'm speaking. So even if the show doesn't necessarily pertain to you, you're practicing English right now. You are practicing English. So I want to applaud you. We have a first-time viewer. Hey, Bryant Patterson. Welcome to the show. Welcome to my corner. Hopefully it's a fun show for you today. So I'm going to get to my topic today, which again, might not be relevant to everyone, but it might be relevant to you. And we are going to be talking about one of my favorite things, my absolute favorite things. Now, I'm a mom. I have 2 children, but I'm also a fur baby mom. I am not just a fur baby. You'll meet our other guests. I have a special guest at the end of the show. Hello in Pakistan. But I will tell you, I'm a dog person. I have 2 dogs and I love my dogs. And if I was told that I had to relocate to another country, you best be believing I would find a way to make sure my dogs were coming too. Hello in the Philippines, Vera Jean Lopez. I hope I get to see you while I'm in the Philippines. That would be awesome. So I don't know. I don't know if I could move one of my dogs. I don't know if I could relocate one of my dogs because he's so big. And the other one is still a big breed, but I just would have to find a way to bring my animals. But if not, I'm a dog person. I have to have a pet. Are any of you out there, do you have pets? Do you have a pet that when you're relocating, you want to bring your pet with you? How many of you have children who can't wait to come to the United States because they want to get a pet, right? They want to get a dog or a cat or a rabbit or whatever. They want to get a pet. So tell me, let me know in the chat, how many of you are pet people? How many of you have pets? How many of you will be relocating with pets? Or how many of you are looking forward to getting a pet when you come to the United States? Because today's topic is traveling with your pets. And we'll also be talking about how to adopt a pet once you get to the United States. So we're talking about all things animals on today's show. I'm super excited because I love animals. My favorite thing I love to go to zoos. My dream is there's a hotel in Kenya. Do we have any nurses in Kenya or nurse aides in Kenya? That you can go. It's like Giraffe Manor, and you can stay with the giraffes. I would pitch a tent in the middle of the field. You're planning to bring your husky with you. I have a husky. Oh my goodness. Huskies are the best. I love my dogs. Following from Kenya. Hey, I'm so excited. I want to know if you've been to that. It's called Giraffe Manor, and it's in Kenya. Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous because I just want to be around giraffes all the time. Could be because I'm so tall, and I just relate really well with them, but planning to bring your husky. Oh my gosh. We need to connect, Joshua. I am a husky mom, and there is, the huskies. Does your husky talk? Mine's very chatty. So this is going to be a great show with you, planning to bring your husky with you. So before we get too into it, I want you guys to know that pet lovers are all over the world. We are everywhere. So here at Worldwide, I wanted to highlight some of our pets. You have Chicken and Baby. Those are the cats of Eliana Watson. She's a recruiter. She also has Siri. So that's so funny. Anytime she says, "Hey Siri," I bet her phone goes off. Enzo belongs to Ashley Wheatley, who is our head of our relocation department. You've got Jinx right there, little kitty cat. Now I'm going to tell you all, I'm not a cat person. I'm sorry. It's just not me. I'm very allergic to cats. I feel bad. My daughter really wants one, but I'm like, if you get a cat, then mommy has to move out of the house. And so we kind of have to pick. Do we want mommy or a cat? Some days I think she would prefer the cat. Your phone went off. Hey, Siri. Sorry. I know we have Alexa too. I have dogs at my hospital that I feed because they're homeless. Oh, you are such a good soul, Arlene. You are such a good soul. I told my husband, I said, if he ever leaves this earth, or if he leaves this earth before I do, I told him, I said, you don't ever have to worry about me because I'm just going to adopt 50 dogs. I'm going to have birds. I'm going to have a snake. I know that's weird. I want a snake. But that's me. I will have all the homeless animals. I love them. So, like I said, I was a dog person. For my husky lover, we do have, this is Gucci on the bottom. He is actually an Alaskan Malamute, very furry friend. But that's Gucci. You also have Adidas, who belongs to Tasha Spencer. Look at that cute pup. So well behaved. Look at him sitting there. If I let my husky off the leash, he'd be like, all right, peace out. I am running to China. Then you've got the 2 cute pups on the top. She didn't send me their names, but those belong to our amazing in-house attorney, Ann Rose Johnson. Look at those sweet pups. It looks like a Doberman. Oh my goodness. Those are intimidating dogs, but they're so cool. And then we've got Baku and Milo, who also belong to Alexandra Rojas Fritz, who is amazing in our HR department. But It's so funny when you start talking to people about their pets. Our eyes light up. So if you are ever in that IELTS speaking situation or any speaking part of your exam, I strongly encourage you to speak about things. You can see my face lights up talking about other people's pets. I strongly encourage you to talk about something that makes your face light up, that just makes you so excited and so happy, because when you're smiling, your pronunciation is actually much better. So talk about something you love to talk about. Like I said, today I'm talking about pets. I love pets. I would have 500 of them. I really would. So let's get down to the cost of our furry friends. Yes, as much as we say we would, give our right arm to make sure our pets are with us, it's pretty close. You have a cat that you'll be bringing to Iowa from the USA, from Dubai. Very cool. Do we have a list of airlines allowing the feline in cabin? I'm actually going to get through that. I'm going to give you a really handy link, Leah, that's going to help you with that. So the cost is $2,500 to $3,000. This is the cost for a small dog or a cat. The larger the animal, of course, the higher the cost. So you do need to plan on spending some money. And then to have them in the cabin with you, that's also going to be an additional expense. Some airlines charge $95. Some of them charge all the way up to $350 to bring your animal with you on board. And I will say this, they have cracked down on bringing animals on the plane, on the aircraft. So for a variety of reasons. So as I get into that, make sure you ask those questions. Make sure you ask those questions. So prior to bringing your fur babies with you, or non-fur babies, my brother used to work in the baggage handling area of an airport. And he said one time there was like this just crate, and it was so heavy, and they looked inside of it and there was a giant boa constrictor in it. And he was just like, oh my gosh. So they move snakes too. They move snakes. Crazy. So what do you need prior to bringing your fur baby? Well, you need vaccinations. Of course, your babies have to be completely up to date. And before they travel, it needs to be within 10 days. So they need to be certified by their vet within 10 days of you traveling. They're going to be looking for paperwork. You're going to need to have that documentation by the NVQS, which is the National Veterinary Quarantine Services, or a licensed private veterinary practitioner. So you're going to make sure you want their shot vaccinations. They're going to need to be up to date, definitely on their rabies. I know Hawaii, I don't think you can bring your pets into Hawaii. Because you have to quarantine your pet when they get to Hawaii. That's what it is. Your pet has to stay in quarantine because they are a rabies-free state. They're an island. So if you have a rabies outbreak, not very many places for you to go in Hawaii. Breed is also really important. So my friend who is bringing the cat, you're going to want to look for your breed, because a lot of airlines now have what's called a restricted breed or a restriction list, meaning you cannot bring this particular breed with you. I am a diploma nurse. Can I apply for USA nursing assistant or a personal support worker job? We do accept, always accepting applications, but I will say the list for nurse aides is extensive. It is a very, very long list. So you can always put your name on the list. But I do encourage you to go ahead and go for that RN. Take your NCLEX, go for the RN while you're waiting on the list, because that will you'll get placed a lot faster as an RN than you will as a nurse aide. Yep, there you go. There is a wait list to apply. Look at that. Tracy's always on top of things. So dog breeds not approved for travel. So if you have a little pup that you want to bring with you, what they call snub-nosed dogs, and snub-nosed means like your nose sticks up, kind of like a pig. I hope y'all like the image. But snub-nosed, or they look smashed in. They look like they ran into a door, right? That's what they look like. You'll know what I'm talking about. Bulldogs have this. Frenchies, French bulldogs, boxers have this face. Boston Terriers, Chows, Japanese Chins, Lhasa Apsos, Pekingese, all those dogs that look like they ran into a door, and you can actually hear them breathe. You'll know if you have these dogs because a lot of times they snore at night too. And it's not like a cute little It's loud. Like it's super loud. Very loud snoring from these dogs. So they can't fly. They cannot, because of their already struggle to breathe normally. There is no help that can be given to them on an airline. So definitely not in the cabin with you. So to bring them in the cabin with you, you have to, they would have to fit, and I'll go over this later, in a traveling case. So they count as your carry-on. But you cannot even like check them as cargo. Because of the stress and their already breathing difficulties. It's too much for the dog. So those breeds are not allowed to fly. Just period. That's in the US, that's internationally, that's domestically, both. Those breeds are not allowed to fly. I used to have a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and many airlines wouldn't allow them to travel because they have that like smooshed in nose a little bit. Rottweilers are anything that can be classified as what's called a fighting dog. I'm sure I know this happens all over the world, but dog fighting is a thing. It's illegal in the United States, as it should be. And it is illegal in many places all over the world. But anything that can be classified as a dog, as a like fighting type dog, those are not allowed to be transported. You can't bring those in. I'm trying to think. Rottweilers, pit bulls would also be on that list. Pit bull is a very popular American breed of dog, but those dogs are not allowed to fly. So for my cat person who is on here, my cat people, cats that are not approved to travel are British short hairs, Burmese cats, exotic short hairs, Himalayans, Persians, and Scottish folds. I know a lot of those cats, and a lot of cats that they don't allow to travel are the very, very long-haired cats, very hairy cats. And the reason they are not allowed to travel is because of their hair and because of pet allergies. So many people have allergies. And since it's recycled air throughout the airplane, the air and the dander from that cat is going to get recycled through the plane. So all that kind of fun stuff. So they have cracked down on dogs as well, on what dogs are allowed to travel with you as well. So I just wanted to put that list. There is a, see if I can kind of, oh, that just made me bigger. But I do have a link on here that maybe you'll show. There it is. There is a link on here all the way on the bottom if you want to screenshot this. I know it's super long. It's from boogieThePug.com, and it's banned breeds by airline. So depending on which airline you are looking for, you can check that out. So I know that you asked earlier, my cat friend on here, you asked earlier. So you can look by airline, which breeds are banned and which are not. Are you providing any assistance for the NCLEX exam? Am I eligible for the NCLEX as a diploma nurse? That is a great question for Tracy. Tracy will probably be able to answer that question a lot better than I can. But are you eligible for the NCLEX as a diploma nurse? That's going to depend on your diploma. That's going to depend on, where you were educated, what your diploma says, all that kind of fun stuff. Oh, look, he gave us, there's the link for Boogie the Pug. Let's see. So moving on. Things to check pre-flight for your pet. So once you've got your pet, make sure, again, step one, go to your vet, go to the veterinarian, check with your vet. Sometimes they can also prescribe something to keep your pet calm while they travel. I know some of us are like, I need something for when I travel. So I know my pet, you got to think you're nervous, you're anxious, and pets feel that anxiety as well. So that it's not unusual. It's okay to ask your vet, like, is there something you can give my pet? Like I have a long flight coming up, all that kind of stuff. So it's also best to try and book as direct a flight as possible if you're going to travel with your pet. You can also kind of ship your pet prior to or before or after. Shipping your pet is also an option. Our relocation department handles all of this and helps you coordinate all of this. So they have some great information for you as well. You can bring your pet as a carry-on. You can, absolutely. It does need to fit under your seat. It needs to follow the rules of all other carry-on sized items. Most airlines do not recognize emotional support pets. There used to be a thing, my friend, one of my best friends did it. You can go online and register your animal as an emotional support animal. You pay like a $25 fee and you get a certificate that says, this is my emotional support animal. It gets to come with me everywhere. Airlines don't recognize emotional support animals anymore. But what they do recognize, if you have, if you or your spouse or your child, someone you're traveling with, does have a service animal. And by service animal, I mean like a seeing eye dog, or I know that many people with seizure disorders, it's very common in the United States for children or adults with seizure disorders, they have a service animal that's there to help them and detect when they're going to have seizures, and they're trained for that. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy that dogs can do that. They know when you're going to have a seizure and they detect, they know what to do. They're trained, all those things. It just amazes me what dogs can do. But those animals, of course, those are your companions. Those are your, like, they have to be with you. Those animals are absolutely allowed to fly. Yes, 100%. You just, again, there's specific documentation you have to do. And of course, you'll want to make sure that that pet is up to date on all their vaccines, and you have that report from the vet as well. You'll probably need to bring documentation that that is your, not just an emotional support animal, but it is more of a physical support animal. You have 2 cats. Any idea if you can pay for both cats or just one cage? As if, oh yeah, you can stick 2 cats in a carry-on. I've seen that done before. 100%. Yes. Stick them both in one cage. I actually have done that with puppies. I flew to Florida, and if my mom was getting 2 Yorkshire Terrier puppies, and I put them both in the same little carry-on thing. Now that is domestically. You may want to check the international guidelines for that. So you definitely will want to check international if they need to be in 1 or 2 carry-ons. But I mean, I put multiple pieces of clothing in a carry-on. I should be able to put multiple cats in a carry-on. But that's a great question. Very, very good question. Another just pro tip, as someone who has traveled with pets, feeding and watering your pet. I know that we're always worried, about our little animals. Do not feed them within 4 hours of flying. Once you get to that 4 hours prior to departure, do not feed them anymore, because them traveling with a full belly, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. You don't want to do that. Same thing. You don't want to give them a lot of water, just a little bit, but not a lot of water prior to traveling either, because that's awful. Like, they don't have anywhere to go to the bathroom. So you'll want to make sure that they're as comfortable as possible when they travel. Some airports do have like pet relieving places. Most airports do. Most big airports do, because they recognize the service dogs who need those bathroom breaks, right? Just like everybody else. The next thing that I want to point out is, so if you're not going to bring a pet with you, that's awesome. That's great. Don't bring a pet with you. But you're looking forward to getting a pet when you get to the United States. Absolutely. 100%. We have so many pets here that need good homes. Some adoption websites that I would recommend. And again, this is once you get stable, obviously not within the first week of getting here. Might want to make sure you have a little more stability before you bring a pet into your home. And I know if you have kids, I know what that constantly, when can we get a dog? When can we get a dog? I want a dog. I want a dog, or a cat. I want a cat. Tell them, hold your horses. It's an American saying, hold your horses. That means be patient, slow down. Pet Finder is a great website to look for. They even have a quiz as to like what breed would be good for you. Adopt a Pet is another website. That is a great website for rehoming, rescue, all of that. Rehoming a pet just means usually that people still have it in their home, but they have to move. They can't bring it with them. They have to rehome a pet. These could be some really helpful websites for those of you who are not able to travel with your pets and you have to leave your pets behind. Obviously, you don't just want to turn them out in the street and say, okay, have fun. Try to find your pet a home. Try to find your pet a home. And then I'm very particular. I know a lot of people frown on this, and that's okay. I understand. But when I purchase my animals, I like purebred animals, just because I have small children, and when you start mixing breeds, you don't really know what you're going to get. So the American Kennel Club, or AKC, as it's commonly called. So AKC, there's AKC Rescue Network, and that's a great way if you're interested in getting a purebred dog. The AKC Rescue Network has a lot of purebred dogs who have just been abandoned and they need new homes. Is there any options or way to be a nurse aide in the United States? Yeah, there's just a really long list. It is. It's a really, really long wait list right now. And I know retrogression has some to do with that, but the nurse aide wait list is really, really long. I hate saying that, but I do have to be honest with you. Have to be honest with you guys. So there is a way. It's just a really long wait list. So pet adoption, if you're interested in adopting a pet or purchasing a pet when you get over here, costs can vary from $50 or free. You might be able to get a free pet to $350. It just depends on the adoption agency that you go with. Facebook is a great way. It is a great way to find a pet. It is. Facebook Marketplace, Facebook all over the place. People are selling pets all over the place. But it's always make sure to ask if you're adopting a pet which vaccinations are included, because there should be vaccinations included. You do not want to bring a pet home that is under, I always say 9 weeks. It needs to be at minimum 9 weeks, but usually 12 weeks is what most breeders recommend. I know cats may be a little different, but it's not much different. Got to give them time with their mamas. So some other things to consider before you get a pet. And I love Christmas time. That's one of my favorite times of year. But the biggest influx at animal shelters happens in January and February of every year. And that is because people love to have that special pet puppy kitty moment on Christmas morning. They love the pictures with their kids. Their kids are so excited. But by the time January and February roll around, people start to realize they don't have time for the pet, and the pet is being neglected, and the pet is starting to misbehave. So they take the pet to the animal shelter, and the newness of the puppy or little kitten has worn off. It's not fun anymore. So when you get a pet, remember, first and foremost, it is a lifetime commitment. You are committing to taking care of that animal and raising that animal and providing a home for that animal, barring some unforeseen circumstance. So if you guys ever see me looking off, I have a special guest in my home today. It's my child. She is currently in her ballet outfit, and she's asking mommy to tie her shoes. And I'm like, mommy can't do that right now. So for those of you with kids, trust me, I feel you. The other thing you want to take into consideration when you're purchasing a pet is cost. What can you afford? Not just how much does the pet cost. For example, I have an AKC, so he's a purebred Great Dane. He might come up here in a minute. Well, this is the top of my child's head. I have an AKC Great Dane. He is a purebred blue Great Dane. I'm sure if I called him, he would pop his head right up here. But he was $1,100. I've seen people pay over $3,000 for a dog. And that's just to get the dog. You also have to pay for their surgeries. You have to pay for their veterinary bills. And I will tell you this, in the United States, the veterinarian is very, very expensive. A puppy appointment is going to cost you between $300 and $500. And when they're puppies, kind of like newborn babies, they got a lot of appointments. So puppy appointments are expensive. If your dog has to have surgery, also very expensive. They do offer these things, something in the United States called pet insurance. I do not have it for any of my animals, but they do offer it to help with those costs. But owning a pet is expensive, and veterinarians in the United States are very expensive. Can you bring your dog from the Philippines to the U.S. under an H1? I don't think it matters what kind of visa you're under. If you're relocating with your pet, I don't think that I don't know if that's taken into consideration. I wouldn't think so. But just make sure you check on the breed of dog that you have. Make sure it's allowed to travel. Check the link that Tracy posted about which breeds are allowed with on which airlines and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. That's just me, but I wouldn't think so. The winky face, I see that. Okay. Time in your pet. Make sure that you have the time. You guys are nurses, and you have crazy schedules. So puppies need to be let out every hour. Every hour they need to go out. If you're crate training your animal, that takes time too. So make sure you have the time to dedicate to taking in an animal. And then activity. Dogs and cats have different activity levels depending on the breed, usually. But make sure that you're bringing, your golden retriever. Oh, I love golden retrievers. I have a picture of mine. Here, I'll show you. This is mine. This was my golden retriever growing up. Isn't he handsome? His name was Albie. He was so good. I have such a soft spot for golden retrievers. So yay. What do you recommend to ship your cat or travel with it in cabin? So Leah, that's going to depend on whether or not your cat is allowed to travel in the cabin. That's going to depend on your airline. So you need to check with your airline to see if that particular breed of cat is allowed to travel with you on, is a mixed cat breed allowed to fly? A Maine Coon mix. Those are big cats, Leah. Those are big cats, right? Maine Coons, those are huge. That's you're going to have to ask, you're going to have to call your airline and ask. Once you book your flight, you can also look on that website that Tracy sent, that Tracy posted in the chat. It'll say host, but it's that website. And you'll have to look on that to see if your cat is allowed to fly. Maine Coon, that's a big cat. You're a big cat person. Look, there it is again. It's posted right up there. So again, I was talking about activity. A bored pet becomes a destructive pet. That's just what happens. When they get bored, they get destructive. Can't leave him behind. Oh, I feel you. Look, I see in your picture, it looks like you and a dog, Leah. Oh, is that a dog? I think it's a dog. I can't see. But I love this. I love I knew nurses are pet people. My sister is a nurse. I've talked about my sister all the time. But my sister's a nurse and she has 2 golden retrievers as well. So Goldens are just the best. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. So not all animals are apartment animals. Not all of them are appropriate for apartments. Once you are here in the United States, something you'll want to check on is very important. Thank you. I'm hoping to give you all some great information. One of the things you'll want to check on is, hello from South Korea. Yay! Looking forward to September 4th. I'm so excited too. Yay! Please come up. Yes, come say hi to me. I'm so excited. Well, you'll have to say hi to me because I'm leading the session. But I'm so excited too. So when you get into an apartment and you're looking at apartments, you have to check if you have a pet. So I'll tell you very short, very brief story. This is becoming a long episode. But when we got our husky, so shout out to my husky people. When we got our husky, we were living in an apartment and we found out that huskies were on the restricted breed list. We were not allowed to have him. So of course, I'm not getting rid of my dog. So we had to move. We moved. And because we had our dog. So always check and make sure that your pet or the pet that you're looking to purchase is allowed at your apartment complex. Very important. How to apply for the NCLEX exam. That's going to depend on which state you want to apply for. And we actually, if you're following us on TikTok, we just posted a fantastic video on great states to take the NCLEX. So follow us on TikTok. This video has like over 5,000 likes. It's pretty awesome, but it's one of our amazing Filipino staff, and they're doing a little dance, and it's super cute, but it's also very helpful to list some of those NCLEX states. So follow us on TikTok. So timing is everything, of course. And then I'm going to bring out my special guest. I told you guys I have a special guest today. I have two special guests. One of my dogs is looking at me. But if you are not a dog person, or your kids want a pet and you like, I need to teach my kid responsibility first. This is Jack. This is simple Jack. He is a leopard gecko. He has no teeth. He eats twice a week. He is usually in a tank that's downstairs. But you can see him. He's sticking his tongue out. He's showing off for you guys. He's showing off. He's not very big. You can see he fits in my hand. Very, very good with children. My daughter loves him. There, you pet him. He sticks his little head up. He smiles at you. He's so cute. Some of you are out there going like, no, absolutely not. Like, not doing it. Kari, how are you holding that thing? I got stuck with him because I rehomed I didn't know that was a thing, but you can rehome lizards. So he is a lizard. Kind of get an idea of how big he is. But he is a lizard. He is 3 years old. But these are some of the options. You can buy lizards in the US. You can have snakes. You can have birds. You can have rabbits. There are pets that are considered exotic pets. I don't think he's considered exotic. You can pretty much get him at any pet store. But these are really, really great options. I know a lot of you are like, there's no way I'm touching that thing. But they're really great options for those of you who want to teach your child responsibility if you're thinking about getting a pet, because you do have to clean their tanks out. But they're just a little more responsive than fish, right? My daughter is actually right here at my feet because this is like her best friend. She loves Jack. It's really good. It teaches kids how to hold and be gentle and how to see. There she is right there. They're super friendly. They have no teeth, which is also really, really nice. He's trying to step on. Yeah, he's trying to step. So that's my special guest today. I'm going to put him back in here. I also am a dog mom. Come here, Sully. Come here. Come here. Let's see if I can get my big dog on here. Come here. There you go. There he comes. I'm closing it. So this is my baby. I think you guys may have seen him before. Come here. Here he is. This is my Sully. He is a Great Dane. He's a sweetheart. He's 160 pounds. So the sad reality is, if I were to relocate, I don't think I'd be able to bring Sully with me because he is such a big boy. Like I said, 160 pounds. But they're actually great apartment dogs, believe it or not. They're cuddlers. And they're very low energy animals. So, like I told you guys, I am definitely I'm an animal lover. I love them. I think they're fantastic. And if you guys are out there and you love your animals too, and you want to bring them to the US, if you have any questions, we have an amazing relocation team who is here to help. Unfortunately, not all animals can be relocated. That is a sad reality of it. Like I said, I don't think Sully would because he's just too big. So cute. Thank you. I think both of my pets are pretty cute today. And then like I said, I do have my Siberian Husky. He's downstairs. He's napping. He's not having it today. So thank you so much for joining me today, for stumbling into my corner today. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you all indulging me in my love of animals and pets. That is something I know a lot more about pets than I do about actually physically being a nurse, which is why I appreciate all of you nurses so much. So again, if you are in South Korea, please come see me. Come see me. Seating is limited. It will be in Seoul at Hotel Atrium. I am so excited. Make sure that you like us on Facebook, all the latest immigration news and updates. Make sure you're following us on TikTok. We have such great stuff on TikTok, and Instagram and LinkedIn. We're everywhere. You know why? Because we're worldwide. But that's going to be it for me today. As a friendly reminder, do not face the corner, even if it's Kari's corner. Face the world with Worldwide. And don't forget, I won't see you next week, but I will see you the week after that live from the Philippines. Take care, everyone.